And our program is very fortunate to have our featured speaker today. We are fortunate to have our featured speaker today, Craig Valine. Craig Valine is a former independent business advisor for GKIC. Does anybody know what that stands for? What does it stand for, Bob?
Glacier Candy Inner Circle.
I hope you knew that answer. Yes, the Glacier Candy Inner Circle of the Los Angeles area. Currently, he leads a large group called Enhanced Marketing Performance, also known as EMP. It's success-driven local entrepreneurs, business owners, sales professionals, and professional practice owners who want to learn more effective ways to substantially increase their income by making better marketing choices. Craig runs an elite coaching and mastermind group for serious individuals who want to accelerate their success in the shortest amount of time possible. Craig has spoken to groups all around the country and shared the same stage with such business greats as the small business marketing guru Bill Glazer, media expert, as well as the author of Guerrilla PR 2.0, Michael Levine, saying creator Larry Benet, and former CEO of Guerrilla Marketing and icon builder David T. Fagan, and that's just to mention a few on his resume. He is the author of the book, The Ultimate No BS Guide to Entrepreneurial Success, available at Amazon.com. He's also the co-author of the upcoming book, How to Become an Iconic Storyteller, Lessons from the Ultimate Story Builder Workshop, with the iconic storyteller himself, Scott Evans. To learn more about Craig Valine, you can visit his websites at nobscraigvaline.com or empresults.com. Ladies and gentlemen, our featured speaker, Craig Valine.
Yay! Although I sent him that introduction, he was far too kind. Anyway, my name is Craig Valine, and I've been an entrepreneur since I was age 11. It all started when my dad gave my sister an allowance of $5 and me 50 cents. And I said, yo, what gives? And I'm from Boston, by the way, so if you hear a little get out of here or over there, it'll come out. It'll come out eventually, hopefully with some slides, because I had that here and over there in there. But see, when you speak, always have a backup. Always have your slides, always have your presentation with you, just in case. Because when things will go wrong is when you least expect it to go wrong. I run a group in Pasadena, California. A few of my members are here. The Pattersons, raise your hand, Pattersons. Former member Ron Morris in the back. Thank you for being here. And a few others who have been to some of my events. Casey Everhart and Maurice DeMito have been guest speakers at my events, and I'm grateful. You know, like Maurice, right? I'd been trying to reach Casey in one way, shape, or form. I met him at a friend of ours event at a home, and we started that dialogue, and we've become good friends ever since, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you. Maurice and Casey are fantastic people to learn from, so I hope you'll continue to support this meetup, because it's a great meetup. I do run a local event in Pasadena, California. It's called EMP. It's called short for Enhanced Marketing Performance. It's where you come to achieve your goals in the fastest time possible by enhancing your marketing performance. That is, making better, more strategic marketing decisions to get to where you want to go in the fastest time possible. Because if you are where you are and you've been there for a little bit and you've gone, God, I want to go to the next level, I don't know how, well, it really comes down to making smart choices about what you do to get to that next level. And I have guest speakers like Casey and Maurice and many others that come in and give you that next level of philosophy, of guidance, of strategy. And then I teach in a way that you've not heard before. I'm very no BS, which is my website, nobscraigvaline.com. And I'm very straightforward, so that anybody see the movie Philadelphia with Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks? Well, it was a lawyer suing a law firm, and what did the law firm do? They used a lot of legal jargon, and they tried to confuse the jury. And what Denzel Washington said is, teach it to me like I'm a 6-year-old. And that has been my driving philosophy ever since that movie came out. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, third-degree black belt. I've taught Taekwondo for, I don't teach it now, but I taught it for many years. And my driving force was to teach the incompetent how to become a black belt in Taekwondo. And it was to teach it so easily, so simply, that even a 6-year-old can learn how to do it. And I do that with my marketing. I teach it in a way, and I speak in a way that you can understand it even if you were a 6-year-old. So I hope you'll get some value out of tonight. I have been an entrepreneur since I was age 11. Like I said, it all started with an allowance. But my dad really challenged me. I went out and mowed every lawn on my hill back in Boston. I lived on a big hill. It wasn't a wealthy community. It was a middle income kind of place, but big lawns. That's kind of cool. $10, $20, $30 every time I mowed a lawn. When it snowed, long driveways, made a lot of money shoveling snow, until I couldn't do it anymore all by myself. And that's when I took the calls and had my friends do the work, and I got a piece of the pie. That's when I knew I was starting to become an entrepreneur, because I saw the opportunities. When Christmas came, I hung Christmas lights until I couldn't do it anymore, and I had my friends hang the Christmas lights. I took the calls, took a piece of the pie. And that's when I knew I was an entrepreneur. A friend of mine's father owned a bike shop down on, I lived in a little beach community called Nantasket Beach, Hull, Massachusetts. And the bike shop was suffering. And my friend said, "You're doing pretty well. You're making more money than my dad." I was like 16 years old. And he goes, "Could you just meet with my dad? My dad's ready to close the shop, and that's supposed to be mine." So I gave him some ideas. And it all stemmed from a book that my dad gave me from a flea market called How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Frank Becker. I still have the original book that my dad gave me when I was 16 years old. And it's highlighted just as I highlighted it, underlined and all that stuff. And you know, the yellow markers were not the same back in the 60s, I was going to say 60s, 70s and 80s. But I followed those things, and I suggested that my friend's father do a few simple things. Some of which I'm going to share with you tonight, and one of which was follow up with those people who didn't buy. Those people who walked in to buy a bike who didn't buy. Why didn't they buy? Well, either you didn't convince them that your shop was the one to be able to give them the best value, or they thought you had an inferior product and you didn't sell them on why they should buy now. So I gave him just a few tips from the book I read. From the book I read. He could have read the same book. From the book I read, I gave him some ideas, and that business is still in business today, run by my friend, and it's over almost 40 years. Okay? No, 30 years. The business has been in business for 40 years. I'm not going to say I'm 60 years old, because I'm not. The point being is the things I'm going to share with you tonight work, whether it happened back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, going into 2010s, right? So pay attention, because they work. They work. They worked for me when I was an entrepreneur. They work for my friend, and I teach them to my members at EMP. How are we doing, Rick?
We're not good.
The title of tonight's presentation was 7 Instant Business Boosters to Increase Growth and Profit. So the things I'm going to share with you tonight are meant to increase your business. Doesn't matter if you're a business for yourself, whether you have a retail space, whether you're a professional, whether you're a network marketer, it doesn't matter. These things that you listen to tonight, if you implement any one of them, you will increase growth and profit. If you implement multiple ones, you can and have the potential to grow exponentially, and I hope that you do, okay? So let's just start with business booster number 1. Business booster number 1, and you all have a worksheet there.
Does anybody need a pen? I don't have one, I was just asking.
You need to write it down, because I will never repeat it ever again. Although I'm recording it right now. Number 1 is develop the list of why your product or service is the clear, inarguable best choice among all the others. How many people here do not have one competitor within 10 miles? lying. There is someone. No, there is someone. I'm telling you, there is someone. And if there's not, then I'm going to challenge you to a question in just a minute. All right? Develop the list of why your product or service is the clear, inarguable choice. It's the best choice. See, whenever you come across someone who wants to do business with you, someone who kind of is interested in doing business with you, someone who has no idea that they want to do business with you, they're asking one simple question. Write this question down in the notes section. Why should I, bracket your prospect, choose to do business with you versus any and every other option available to me, including doing nothing at this time? Have you ever come across someone who said, that's great, but you know what, I'm going to hold off for now? Why did they choose not to do business with you at the time? Because you did not convince them that you were the clear, inarguable choice to do business with them. Your product or service was not the clear and inarguable best choice for them at that time. So you've got to answer that question. Why should I, your prospect, choose to do business with you versus any and every option available to me, including doing nothing at this time? That's a huge question, and it's not an easy one. I'm not going to say it's easy, but you must answer it so that when someone who does what you do, similarly, think of the ultimate benefit that you provide. Those people who said, I have no competition nearby. Well, it depends how you answer your question. What is it that you really provide? What is the circumstance in which you solve a problem for? What is the solution you provide? Well, are you the clear, inarguable choice? And if not, answer the questions why. Okay? Number 2, constantly build your herd. Your herd is your list. Your list of prospective customers. And if I use the word customers, I mean clients, patients, members, etc. So just use that as a generic, okay? Constantly build your herd. Your list of interested prospects, interested customers, past interested customers is your value in your business, first and foremost. If you're going to sell your business, would somebody just buy it because of location? Maybe. Would they buy it because of the machinery you have? Maybe. But it's really the list that you have of people that they can market to come in and give them money. That's what they're looking for. And what is more valuable than the list itself? Can anybody give me an answer?
Me.
Sort of. You in what?
Your reputation.
You know what? It is valuable. But I will say this. It's your relationship with the list. How often you communicate with them. Treat your list, your customers, your prospects, your past customers like dear and valued friends. If you are in a relationship, if you are in a new relationship, would you go a month without talking to that person? No, because someone else is going to come along and say, hey, you're cute. Hey, I like you. That sort of thing. You have to develop a loving, dear and loving relationship with these people as if they were your friends, as if they were your family. Okay? So how do you build your herd? Well, squeeze page online, offer something of value to them. We call this bait, the bait that gets them to give them your name or address. And by the way, getting email alone is not going to make it anymore. So you have to give them a hard copy of something. Okay? If I had a video up, I would show you this example. No, I'm joking. It's not Rick's fault. It's something going on. Rick's helping us.
I don't think we're going to get there.
That's all right. So imagine, everybody know what a squeeze page is. If you don't, raise your hand. Okay, squeeze page is a website that has one primary purpose, and that is to capture the information of an interested prospect. How do you get their information? By giving them something of value to them. And what I would recommend is give them something hard, not just a downloadable copy of something. Why? Because email deliverability stinks. But I'm not saying don't capture their email. You want to get both. So for instance, the slide that I would have right up right now would be of Fabian Frederickson's website, clientattraction.com. You can write it down and go see it after you're done. Clientattraction.com. And what she does is she goes, get my free CD. And first she asks for your name and email address. Why? In case you opt out during the process. Because you have raised your hand and said, yeah, I want that free CD. But if sometime during the process you go, well, I don't know if I want to do that. But you at first said, yeah, I'm interested. So she doesn't want to lose you completely. So when you enter your name and email address, you're taken to another page where it says, give us your mailing address so that we can mail you your free CD. This is the process in which you should do it the exact same thing. Doesn't matter what business you're in, okay? Because you want to be the expert at what you do. You're not stop selling products and services, be the expert at what you do. Okay? Solving problems, solving a circumstance. What's the circumstance in which they would want information for? Because if they're online and they Google you, they're looking for some help immediately. Okay? That's why videos help, that's why blogs help, that's why articles help. But if you do things right, if your site comes up, right, and they go, oh, how to blank, how to solve this problem, and your site comes up and it says, hey, free CD reveals the #1 secret or 7 secrets on how to solve this problem, they're going to want that CD. They've raised their hand. So you want to be able to do that, and that builds your herd. Your herd is the list of interested prospects and customers, and you have to communicate with them on a regular basis. Many of you will say, yeah, but I hate getting emailed all the time. Stop your biases. What works is any relationship. If you have a good relationship with somebody, they want to hear from you. If you've offended them, then they'll opt out and they weren't meant to be your customers anyway. Okay? So you have to communicate on a regular basis. Now, if you were to build your herd offline, you could do that through direct mail. You could do that through lead generation. Right here on the counter, there might be on the counter right there. Right. How are they building their list? Hey, stay in touch with performers here, events going on, new coffees, new drinks, whatever. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is send a postcard and say, if you know something very specific about your target audience, you can rent lists from a good list broker. Don't deal with just anybody. If you need help, talk to one of us about it. But if you want to mail, direct mail is physical, it's engaging, and if you do it right, it works. If you've gotten direct mail, you say, I hate mail, I hate getting junk mail. Junk mail is junk mail because it has nothing to do with what you really like. But if you've got something, give me an example of something you like. Rick, what do you love?
Sorry?
What do you love? I mean, outside of audiovisual, what do you love?
I love great art.
Great art?
Art.
So if you got a postcard and said, in your town, there's a new art gallery providing the same art that you love and cherish, and it says there's an opening and we want you to be there. Would you read that postcard?
Absolutely.
You see what I mean? So if you send direct mail, make sure you're sending it to the people who have raised their hand already in one shape or form. And there are lists that do that if you go through the right list broker. Okay? If you advertise, make sure you advertise in the media in which they read, listen, or watch. But don't just send it blindly. Some people will rent based on zip codes and things like that, and they have generic, and they say direct mail doesn't work because it didn't work for me. Well, because you didn't do your homework in advance. Okay? So you constantly got to build your herd. Number three. My slide was really awesome, by the way.
Tell us what it looked like. What was on it?
It looked like this right here. Isn't that cool? Anyway, number three, find out what people want through a 3-step survey process. So you're like, people aren't buying my product anymore. I don't know what to offer people. I'm offering what I've got and they're not biting. Well, do a survey to your list, to your herd, and find out what they want. Here's the 3-step process. Okay, number one, to survey them, give them 1 to 10, no more than 10 questions. 10 is a lot. I would say 1 to 5. Okay? Offer them a gift or premium for doing that for you. So say, hey, for just doing this for me, I want to give you a gift. I want to give you a Starbucks card. I want to give you a choice of 4 gifts. I want to do whatever. But make it worth their while for doing it for you. Okay? And number 3, promise to report back the results to them. Hey, when I get this back, I'm going to tell you what the survey results were. Okay? So that's step 1. Number 2 is, after you get all the results, report it back to them. And number 3, give them what they asked for. So if you find that over time they all said, well, what I really want is, like in my business, okay, I'm a marketing consultant, and I call myself a marketing performance strategist. You know what I'm getting more people asking me about is, how do I attract the most qualified type of prospect? Well, I am slowly becoming more of a lead generation expert than more of a marketing performance expert. So because people are asking for it, so I'm designing programs that help people attract the most qualified person who raises their hand and says, I'm interested. And that's based on feedback from my members, from my clients, from my past clients. But you can only do that if you ask. And then design a product or design a program, design a training for them. Don't just assume. Don't just think you know, because you don't. We all don't. We all think we do and we don't. You gotta pull them, okay? And I had this little cute thing right here. This sergeant says Business Booster. It was really cute if it was up here. But anyway, I'm joking. Anyway, number 4. Number 4 is create a referral culture within your business. Referral culture. Now, a lot of us depend on referrals. A lot of us, who I bump into every day, say, I depend on word of mouth. Everybody's not talking about their business every day, I'm sorry to tell you. There are people who will say, you know what, you need marketing help, go to Casey. You need to become a better speaker, go to Maurice. He's my guy. Oh my God. You need help with your marketing or lead generation, go to Craig. It does happen, but you shouldn't depend on it as a primary strategy, unless you have a strategy attached to it. Because people on their own devices are not going to be doing it. But if you set up the culture beforehand and say, hey, look, you know, I do all this because I'm just passionate about what I do. But you know how I really get most of my business? By successful, happy customers just like you. And surely you associate with people just like you, don't you? Who at some point in their business say, you know, I really need just a little bit of help to get to that next level. Is that right? Well, I'm going to give you 2 of my books. And I don't want you to have to go out and worry about it. But if that conversation should ever come up, would you hand one of my books to those people and just say, this is my guy, Craig is my guy, and read the book. And if you like what Craig has to say, give him a call. You see how that is? You've set up the culture ahead of time. Tell them how you do business. Don't depend on it. Don't wing it. Set it up in advance. This is how I do business, okay? If you do a newsletter, if you do marketing, if you do a presentation, feature those people who refer on a regular basis. Make them the stars. If they feel appreciated, they'll refer over and over and over again. Okay? This is the EAR formula that my mentor, Dan Kennedy, says. He goes, you know, you have to earn your referrals. Earn. Okay, EAR. E-A-R. Earn referrals. Don't expect them. Okay, you have to give service above and beyond the Call of Duty. Don't just do your job and say, I did an adequate job, so I deserve a referral. No, go above and beyond and you will get them. A, ask. You got to ask. Don't assume people are just going to give you referrals, because they're not. Say, you know, who do you know just like you who might be going through the same thing you're going through, and isolate it. Don't give them the whole world, because they won't think of everybody. Isolate it. Say you golf. You golf at local club every Saturday. Who do you know who you golf with who might need a new car, who might need insurance, who might need what you offer? Forgive me, I forgot. But the point is that you want to isolate it. Don't let them think of the whole world. Say, my son goes to parochial school. It's like, who do you know at your son's school who might need this thing, going through this situation? Isolate it for them. That's the ask. R is reward. When somebody gives you a referral, reward them. Because a referrer is a referrer if they feel acknowledged. So you have to reward them. And what I would do is, if you have someone who refers all the time, have a tiered system for referral benefits. So you might start out with a little Starbucks card. Say, thank you so much. Oh my God, I can't tell you how much we're so grateful for your referrals. You know what? I know your wife and you like to eat Italian food, so I just paid for your next dinner, your next date out. Oh, you like the movies? Hey, tier it, because that's money you don't have to spend on advertising. That's money, that's time you don't have to spend convincing someone that you're the choice. Someone who's a loyal fan, a raving fan, has just convinced someone to do business with you. Reward the heck out of them. Okay, it's powerful. Set the reward culture in advance. This is how I do business. Okay. Number 5, reactivate lost customers. How many people of us in the room, I know this is kind of a stupid question, but have done business with some people and then all of a sudden they went missing? Anybody? And we just have not reached out, contacted. We assume they just didn't want to do business with us, right? But sometimes life gets in the way. Did you know that, the 6 top reasons, according to the American Marketing Association, why people don't continue to do business with us? Number 1 is price. They just can't afford it anymore. Number 5, they move away. They're out of the area, so it's no longer convenient. Number 4, lousy service. Some reason, somehow, maybe someone, a staff member, or maybe we did it, we didn't realize that we gave lousy service. Number 3, lousy product. Maybe the product we sold them didn't work as we promised it would. Number 2, they found a new resource that was better. Maybe we don't communicate as often as we should, and the person who does got to them first. Think about that yourself. And the number one reason, anybody, can you think about it? Number 1 reason people don't do business with us anymore?
Fire contact. Oh, I got it.
Yes.
Perceived indifference.
No. Thank you. They forgot. Life got busy and they forgot. Life got busy and they forgot. And guess what? They're usually embarrassed about it. So they don't want to come back and have to explain themselves of why they've been away so long. Okay? So it's our job to create a campaign to acknowledge that it was our fault, not theirs. A separate campaign. Not the one that you send out to all your customers and anything like that. Do a separate campaign to people who've been gone a while. Because guess what? You need to know when somebody's been gone a while. So here's an example. There's a diner nearby. And Jim is 60 years old. And he's been retired for 5 years. For the past 5 years, he's been coming into the same diner for the past 5 years at 7 a.m. and had the same breakfast, same coffee, says hello to June at the other side of the counter, and one day he's not in. He's like, where's Jim? Jim's usually here every day. Oh my God. All right, whatever. Next day, same time of day, he's not there again. It's like, where's Jim? Jim's always here. It's like, when does the alarm go off that we should find out what happened to Jim? You need to decide what it is for your business. So I run a monthly event, and if someone doesn't show up after 2 meetings, I have to really give them a call, get on the phone and say, where are you? What's going on? Why haven't you shown up? Well, I've been busy. Well, how's business? It's like I have to really kind of get deep into their emotional psyche to go, get the hell back. And if it's too long, if they don't answer the phone, or if I haven't been able to connect, and I got to say it was my fault. I got to go, I haven't been communicating. Maybe you didn't get my newsletter. Maybe you haven't got my emails. Maybe you haven't gotten my faxes. Maybe you haven't got this thing. I have to take the blame so they don't feel embarrassed. But you got to reach out to people who are lost, okay? Business booster number 6, newsletters. Have a customer newsletter, monthly newsletter. And I want to tell you that it should not just be an email newsletter, because email deliverability sucks. Email deliverability stinks. It gives you false stats. If your life depended on it, would you send, and your life depended on it to make a sale, to get a referral, to create loyalty, would you send out a paper newsletter? Yes? If your life depended on it?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Your life depends on it. Your business depends on it. Create a paper newsletter. Don't depend on email. Email eventually will have to be charged for. All our freedoms are slowly being taken away by the government and by every other source. They will eventually charge per email. If you don't believe me, just stick it out. Don't depend on free. Depend on results. If you want to build your business, get things that get through to your customers. Mail gets through. My newsletter is my #1 marketing tool. I don't have one here, but I sent them out. Did you get one? You're not even on my market. Did you get one?
I got one, yes.
Yeah. It's my #1 marketing tool. Did you get one, Martha?
No.
Then, if you're not getting it, it's the mail. It's post office because they went up. I send out about 1,500 per month.
We've never got one from you.
Really?
We can change that tonight with the form you'll fill out.
Yes.
Check your list.
We'll say if you don't deliver this, we're going to hunt you down.
So
But
truthful.
my newsletter is my #1 lead generator. Speaking in front of a group is #2. Would you believe that? So if that's true, would you consider doing a paper newsletter? And if you don't know how, if you don't think you have the time, there's always ways around that, and I'm happy to introduce you to it. In fact, I have an offer at the end. I'll invite you to my event next Tuesday. If I were to show you a slide, I would show you a successful newsletter right here. Right here. A business booster #7. We're running out of time. Business booster #7, add more media. Do not rely on 1 or 2 things to make you successful. So for instance, network marketing relies on a lot of personal conversations. A lot of let's tap into the people we know, let's do these things. But what I would suggest, the more things you have working for you at a time, the better. So personal meetings are one way to make a connection with people. A newsletter is another way to do it. Social media is another way to do it. Posting, writing weekly blog posts is another way to do it. Doing videos is another way to do it. Trying to position yourself as a media expert, getting on TV is another way to do it. The more things you do simultaneously, the more you have the opportunity to succeed. Think of a Greek Parthenon. You know what a Greek Parthenon is? It has multiple granite columns or pillars. Think of if you just had one pillar holding up that big granite roof. The roof is revenue, money coming in, and this is your marketing strategy to do it. Could it hold up that granite roof? It's eventually going to fall if this doesn't work out, if those personal introductions or those networking or that word of mouth that you have is working for you. But if you inserted another pillar that says, oh, we also have a newsletter going out. Oh, we also are doing online marketing. Oh, we also have social media marketing done strategically, not just haphazardly. We also have advertising working in the local media that is highly targeted. Oh, we also have video marketing. We're also getting on the media once a week, or something to that effect. The more things you have working, diversity creates stability. You have to have them working simultaneously. Don't just see if this works and then go, okay, well, we'll try this. No, because the roof is going to go like this. You have to have multiple things working simultaneously. Everybody ever hear of a mutual fund? Mutual fund has multiple stocks working simultaneously. Some are very strong, some are medium, some are very high, and so on and so forth. And it's because that's the same way as your marketing. Your marketing has to be done in a way that some are going to work very strong, some are going to work very weak, but they're all working at the same time. Okay? That's how you're going to be very, 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 very successful. Okay? I'm running out of time, and if you want to know what the big breakthroughs are, then I will do a follow-up webinar because I think we're running out of time. So I'd be happy to do a follow-up webinar, and if you fill out that form that Casey told you about, I will do a live webinar with you, and we'll go through those 7 things. But I don't want to leave you without telling you about my event that I have on Tuesday in Pasadena. I call it EMP, it's called Enhanced Market Performance. I have a guest speaker named Jim Palmer. He's known as the newsletter guru. He is an expert at client or customer retention. And once you have a customer, that's where the value is. I told you the herd, your list, that's where the value is. But if they spent money with you and you nurture that relationship, how much value can they give you over time? It just depends how you nurture that list, how you nurture that customer. Well, Jim is an expert at that, and he's speaking next Tuesday in Pasadena. I have flyers to give you if you're interested, and if this were up on the screen, you could see exactly what he's going to talk about. Come on, laugh. Anyway, but he's going to talk why it's highly profitable to focus on client retention versus acquisition, why customer newsletter is such a powerful customer tool, Jim's secrets for producing a newsletter that will boost your profits. Jim will show you a newsletter that has brought in $400,000 to the most average type of business. So Jim is my former business coach. He's a good friend of mine. I've seen him grow like this in the last 8 years. And if you'd like to be my guest, please come free of charge on me. If you like it, I'll tell you how to become a member. But it's good. I've had great speakers like Casey and Maurice there. And if they speak there, then it must be pretty good. So that's my talk. I'm out of time. Thank you very much.
Great.